Button. Hey folks, Nick Tuckert here with the Historical Fencing Guild. Well, before we get into talking, you guys know we got to pay some bills. First and foremost, a big shout out to Joe Bachman, who does not have the link here. So let me see if I can't get that out of here. This may change my colors for a moment. Don't worry about it if it does. Yep. bit.ly/JB Tech Apps or JB Tech Chaps, whichever sinks in better for you. Joe Bachman was kind enough to donate the funds to let me stream for a whole year. So that's how I'm able to hit you on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitter. Now, Twitter, folks, I can't see your comments, but if you follow me at ntalkert, you can shoot messages, and I'll be happy to answer questions, commentary about the show later. Also, the Historical Fencing Guild is brought to you by the Simple Sword, the easiest, most concise masterpiece of how to go from picking up a sword to fighting to teaching others. The Fighting Axe, the follow-up that lets you let loose all your aggressions in all the right ways. And its follow-up, the Simple Spear. Because, a weapon that's 500,000 years old has a bit of relevance even today. All these and more can be found on Amazon at www.amazon.com/Nicholas Tucker. That's me. I'm also the creator, while it's not on brand for this, of the Big Stumpy Robots Core Rulebook. My wonderful world of Megacorps and rules light, explosion heavy tactics gaming. Now, the most important folks, though, up here in the chat, and they are the good folks of the Historical Fencing Guild, both digital and local, who through their generous donations at my Patreon, www.patreon.com/thehistoricalfencingguild, get videos early, from behind the scenes. Basically, they get to dictate anything that pops up on the show. If they want more of it, it happens. And you guys let me have the money to keep the lights on for this channel, several others, and to, as health and weather provide no-cost training for the local people who want to learn and maintain their martial arts skills. Wow, a lot of spiel. We got to get through it. Now, before we get into things, I have to brag. I got part of my anniversary gift early. And Monday will be 20 years of being married. So that's kind of a big deal. My wife, Amanda, whom I love, got me these. I want to try and get them to show up. These are, because she found out that this is the Emerald anniversary. So what she got me were these lovely Emerald Rogue pattern dice. And this is a D6. You roll it, and I don't know if you can see the numbers. This is not, necessarily as randomized and properly balanced as some of the more traditional ones like these guys, but they are so very cool. I'm trying to get where the light can hit them because they're translucent, and my camera isn't zooming in on them right. But we got coin pouch and a little purse to cut. That's my 8 and 10 respectively. My D12 is just an emerald. I feel so chaotic. Isn't that pretty? Let me see if I can get that. But my favorite piece, this is the D4, the four-sider. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? That is a dagger. And I'm all about that. So, yes, I know that's off topic a little bit, but I thought you guys might like to see something snazzy because she handed it to me because we will be going on a vacation. Now, I've made arrangements for my property to be watched over by individuals I trust, and wards, of course, will be in place. But they're very cool. It's very kind of her. It's hard for her to hold on a secret. Now, she has a present of similar grade coming from me, but Amazon has been a fink, so it will probably come long after our anniversary. So she's going to wait. But we're going to go. We're going to see manatees. We're going to just have a grand time. Again, weather and Xander's situations permitting. But so that's me. I'm sorry if I took a little bit of time out to shine things. Okay, I'm gonna jump right to this because I know I'm way ahead. But Cindy, hi Cindy, I made Amiguri dice. They were fun, but not very popular. That's because you're at the wrong events for that. You might try coming off coming to a game show or a gaming convention, and when you're there, you can push Stellari, you can push an RPG, the stuff for Animal Eye, and push your dice and fluffies. They'll go, or an anime convention. It may just be a case of what you bring to one convention may not sell very well, but may sell at others. Now I could go all the way, go through the comments, and then I will explain the very important. There is a link that is up in StreamYard right now, and it's a very special link, and I'll explain what that's for after I get through the comments. Because, like all my shows, well, almost all my shows, it's about the viewer, not me. Now, first through the doors, Foxy's first. Foxy's first. Foxy's first. She got it through the door. Foxy is also battling an incoming mega migraine and may be in and out. I'm so sorry to hear that, Foxy. I hope you get feeling better real soon. I can try to keep the volume from going, crazy. This isn't Nevermind the Furthermore. I gotta wake people up for that. And I'm waiting for pizza, but I am here. That's right, Thesis. Great to hear from you. How's your drilling and stuff? Please start writing down your takes on the style. I want to see your books out there. And I know I sound like I'm on my other channel, but I have a lot to talk about. And a lot of it applies to you guys. And I want to get to it, but let's keep going. We're joined by Trelena Bachman. Hi, friends. Hi, Trelena. I hope you're doing well, Trey. Oh, God, it's always good to see you. I got a little glimmer of you. I was looking at the big screen, not the little cut screen. When Joe kind of accidentally hopped onto my show, and then I'm like, you're here, you're yoinked. And if you missed that, be subscribed to my other channel, the Nicholas Tuckert channel on YouTube, where you can find my more artsy and productive things. But let's see. Happy Friday, Sword Family. Happy Friday, folks. And I know I seem my energy might be a little off. Halloween and post-Halloween took a whole lot out of us. And with the oncoming excitement of my anniversary, I'm not as here as I should be. I'm trying to be. But there's a lot. My mind's excited. And it's good. It's good to be excited. But snazzy dice. Yes, those are awesome. Thank you. Very cool dice. Very pretty. We talked about her Amiguri dice. Enjoy yourselves. We will. And Johnny says, as off topic as it may be, it was what first brought me here. And I appreciate it because I love being able to bring my love of art, of gaming, of martial arts, and bring them together in the things I do. I use all these as tools to build people up and to promote critical thinking and physical and mental health wherever I can. And it's great when the streams overlap in such an exciting way. Don't forget to likes. Yes, folks, please like, share, and subscribe to this. And I mean it, share it around. Because one, I want to be able to help people who have sword questions. And two, I want to be able to fight the algorithms to get the messages out there, because when I get to tell your stories, or we get to talk about gear and training and requirements. It's all for the greater good, and I'm all about the greater good. The greater good. But let's see. I went to a gaming con, but there was no one interested in the dice. Might need to try another one. There was organization issue at that one. I do better at quad cons. Yeah, finding the right convention is always challenging. I'm insanely excited to be part of Region Con in April. It will be my first 2-day con. So that's coming up. And I know that's post holidays. Why are you thinking that far ahead? Because that's what I do. We have Owl Foxy, and this is the channel. Thank you, Johnny, for my other channel. Now, Johnny's going to want to be paying attention to the other channel because some things related to gaming are going to be coming down there very, very soon. Possibly mid-November as a mental break from the holiday stress. I have something planned. But before we get into that, we have to talk about something else I have planned. And I'm rather excited about this project. As I said, I put up this link, right? This link is to a new secret folder for Sword Meme Review, because I know that I'm going to be coming in kind of skating probably Thursday. So my prep may be a little less than I planned. So I want to have something ready to make sure you guys are entertained along with the stories of my misadventures. So we will be doing Sword Meme Review. If you can make your own sword-related memes, if not, share them around. Try to avoid copyright stuff that will get me in trouble and nothing too spicy. But so these I will probably have to read ahead just to be safe. But let's talk about that, okay? Because we've got a lot of fun that can be had, and I'd like to try something like that. Because you guys, we all have sarcasm and things to talk about. Let's see. There's that. Cindy, have you tried rummage sales? I did well with amigurumi at a recent one. That's a good thought. Trelena does her own amigurumi. Amigurumi. I keep leaving syllable out. I need to get some pictures of my journals and various things to post on the Christmas Mall page. Yes, I will. I'm lost, but I will find that journal so that you can put pictures up, and you need to make more. He's talking about the Christmas Mall that is a Facebook, the St. Nick's Creative Christmas Mall, that allows me, that's a public group for all you independent creators, and especially, related to this channel too, who can, you can go and you can advertise that you have Etsy shops and sell, and then you can buy from the wonderful people who support the show. I don't currently take ads on this program just because it's a little more specific and informal. But I do have an affiliate link to Purple Heart Armory. Please use that and comment that you went through the Nick Talker affiliate link, because somehow people have made purchases, but I haven't gotten any of the money. I haven't gotten any notice. So something's gone wrong, and I've been trying to fix that. But alrighty. Now that we've done that, we've talked about that, I do want to inform you, yes, there was a delay at getting me to the front. But, Cindy says, have not tried rummage sales, but I did try consignment store. Both dragons were heavily damaged. Trying another one now, different organizers. I need to log in and see how the sales are going. That sounds like a good idea. And maybe you can set up a small show locally or be involved more in the establishment of a show. If you can't find what you want, you got to build it. That's how the Historical Fencing Guild was built. Now, we do have the first news from the front on the pumpkin war. Despite my issues, let me just put this comment away for a moment. We do have a report from the pumpkin. I was assaulted. They came, the pumpkins, and the pumpkins they ambushed me. It was a scout party. I was able to handle them, But by the time it was done, I turned around to get footage, and the only thing I could find was the person who was backing me up. So huge call out.
Stuart's doing his part of the war on pumpkins. Are you?
That's right. Stuart is doing his part on the war on pumpkins. So if you have the ghoulish gourds looming in your area, and you are practitioners of blade and blade-like items in the guild, let me know. We'll set up another secret folder, and you can dump your battles with the villainous vegetables, and we can just count coup against this autumnal threat. It's an autumnal apocalypse that must be prevented, and only through your help can we drive back the pumpkins back to their patch until the next season, when they will loom their bulbous and orange heads. Let's see. I'd love to see it. Yeah, go ahead. If you have the means, do it. And what we'll do is, heck, you use the folder for the meme folder I just set up there. I can change the name. If you don't have memes or you don't want to put set one up and use what your greatest weapons to slay and defile them. Defeat the forces of Pumpkinhood. We will come together as a guild across the nations, across this nation, and hold a line strong and powerful against it. That's right. She'd have a Blatch watching. Only you can prevent the Great Pumpkin Invasion. Give her a non-sharp thing to help smash it. That's right. Warhammers, the stick. If you want to take Shadversity's lecture on how powerful a stick is and demonstrate it, rise up against your pumpkin oppressors and chop it. Let's do that. And when you do it, record it, and we'll put it together, and I will show it here. Because that's what we're about, coming together to get better, and in this case, get violent on some pumpkins. I think we've all been stressed out by 2022, the revenge. We need to find a way to purge that so that we can come into Thanksgiving with a proper, she's 5. 5-year-olds love destruction. I am a walking library of sword memes. This should be fun. Yes. Basically, I want to pull together some awesomeness because for me, November is a big deal. Johnny says he thinks he'll give the pumpkins a chance to try diplomacy. And it could be a case that the North American pumpkins are of a more vicious breed. You may have much nicer, firmer, friendlier pumpkins down where you are. If that's the case, I would love to hear, the pumpkin side of things. But when I'm walking, minding my own business, and suddenly pumpkins start raining death upon me, all the help needs to. A man has to do what a man has to do, Johnny. I will always walk the path of peace, but I would prefer to walk softly and carry a big stick. And Foxy's much more vicious than I am. Nah, Johnny, I'm on the smash them and fry their innards. Wow, that's right. Foxy's like, yeah. But you have to understand that foxes are a natural enemy of pumpkins anyway. They exist in the same arboreal regions of America. And lo and behold, it is a terrible, terrible thing. But what about the pumpkin on pumpkin violence? Oh. And Scruff McGruff says take a bite out of pumpkin crime. But yes, folks, our lumpy orange menaces just rolling around causing you problems. Is it tragic that puberty love won't work on them as well as it did the killer tomatoes? I remember. I was young, but I was there. And you know what? George Clooney remembers too. So yes, we will have a bit of pumpkin-based shenanigans sometime probably next week. As soon as I get back out on the front, I have plans to We've been at war for generations, Nix. As representatives of autumn, cute versus spice. Who are you on? Meanwhile, Johnny freaking Cage says we grow them, and it's rain season, so our land doesn't look like the valley of the shadow of death anymore. Okay, then you know how quickly they can overrun territory. I hold no animosity to pumpkins coerced into evil, but to those vile gourds which which play with the hearts and minds of men, since the dawn of time we have been their destroyers. Is it the pumpkin or is it the spice? Let us find out. And meanwhile, Thesis is vehemently saying spice must die. Johnny, we are on opposing sides. That's okay. I love you all equally. So what you're telling me is that it's fine because you have one pumpkin friend. No. I hold the issue to each individual pumpkin, regardless of. It's not the color of the skin; it's the content of the gourd. This is a fun conversations. Yes, it's getting pretty deep in here, but no. All joking slightly aside, I have some other people who may have volunteered, and if local people want to get a hold of me and set up something that involves the destruction of any pumpkins, we will blast Brain Krieg. And we will listen to the great battle cry of Brain Krieg. I cannot play it because I do not want to get sued, even though I do love their stuff. So I will throw Brain Krieg's battle cry into the chat. You all can enjoy it. I can't air it because I don't want to get in trouble, but I can link it. Let's see. This is fun. Pumpkins tried to invade our home. The attack rat saved us. Yes, teleports in, drops a like, smashes the pumpkin, gives the wife a kiss, and teleports back. Aw. But what about Trey? No, anyway, I'm in a mood. Don't mind me. You never do. But, yes, so we will be doing some pumpkin-based shenaniganry in the future. That being said, it is early autumn. Well, it's autumn to early winter in where I am, which with global warming may or may not be the same thing. But it's a good time to renew your training. The extra heat is gone. That means you can wear padding. Oh my. Joe, you give me the best presents. Talk about trick or treat. Because Joe's leaving her with you to have to deal with for a bit. Yeah, you better be careful. I might not give her back. Of course I would. A long time ago, I said my pets can have pets. Listen to Ailstorm, Wenches, and Mead while smashing pumpkins. I have an established like I said, Brain Krieg's Decomposing Pumpkins is a necessity, has been for many years for such complex battle. Now, that I always found it. See, Joe always found it appropriate to listen to Smashing Pumpkins while Smashing Pumpkins. Trelane, oh God, every trick's a treat and every treat's a trick. Wow, that's beautiful. That's a good one. Though not a fan of the band, listening to Smashing Pumpkins while Smashing Pumpkins would be entirely entertainingly ironic. Yes, my problem is, like I said, when you guys understand the glory and the important fact that for years I drove a Ford Taurus station wagon, come back to me at some point. We'll talk about that song. I wish I could stream it. I just don't want to get sued. That does sound appropriate, said Johnny. Bah, Smashing Pumpkins is too depressing. I'll stick with heavy metal music. I'm thinking Trelane and I need to get a certain copy of the 2 mix from Gundam Endless Waltz going. Play the song that shall not be played and get some axes. I'm gonna ask some pumpkins some questions. I will apologize now to the audience. There is a reason why my wife and I are generally not both here at the same time. We might break neck, but only in good ways. Look. I'm a very good, very controlled person. I keep all my vices in a little box. However, 2 people happen to have the key to said box. One of them is Amanda. The other is Trelana. Cool. I got an email that I made 32 after fees at the consignment store. Not sure what I sold. Guy Logan. Yes, make that bank. Make that bank. I wanted to tell you guys something. I was looking up Amazon. I had to do some figuring. But my manuals have sold in 12 nations, folks. So that means there are 12 different countries that have people studying the same methods I talk to you guys about when I talk about teaching swordsmanship all over the world. And I am all kinds of awesome. So current list is the US, the United Kingdom, Australia, Canada, Japan, Brazil, Italy, Germany, India, Mexico, Poland, and France have bought either the simple sword or the fighting axe or the simple spear. Most of them are all over. Money is nice. I like money. I need money. Obviously, if you want to give me money, feel free. Hold on. You can send me money right here anytime you want. PayPal.me/Nicholas Talker. Just let me know that you're doing it to send me money, and I will thank you. Or join Patreon. But right there. But it's more important to me knowing that there are people reading these books and learning from them. And what's great is I'll see it pop up in clusters where someone will buy one book and then they'll buy the rest in the series, and then they'll go and get somebody else will do it in that region real fast. So it's these little clusters. And that means people are learning. And I do tend to buy copies and give them to libraries because I want people to be able to access the knowledge I couldn't access. I think that's great. So let's go right back to the comments because I got distracted. And congratulations again, Cindy. What was the Looney Tunes with the cannon? 1812 Overture? Da 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 da. Boom, boom. Yes. But yes. Oh, God. Trelana invoked the name of the song. White Reflection. This song is cursed. It's not cursed, it's blessed. It's like the opposite of cursed. So yeah, it's almost sacred in that Trelane and I cannot listen to this song while fencing again because we get into trouble. That's like having and I lost her name. But the lady from Helsing go take a walk. Okay? Thesis and I don't have that restraint. LOL. No, and in many times I tell people a good man doesn't need a lot of rules. Tonight is not the night to find out why I have so many. Uh, but some of those rules are just niceties, and that's amazing. Yeah, that's what I want to see. I want to see people buying my book and reading it in libraries or whatever. New comments. Let's see. That is awesome. Psycho Stick would be perfect for Pumpkin Wars. Woo, go you. Speaking of Patreon, Foxy and I have upped our pledge from 5 to 10 because we can afford. Thank you so much. Seriously. That helps so much because I'm making sure I have enough money to so that at the end of the year I can keep streaming like this. And I've been on DeviantArt as my gallery for 18 years now. And they're rumbling about subscriptions because it might not stay free. So I've actually had it in part giving back to something that's given so much to me, and in part to keep myself. I've actually become a paid member of DeviantArt, which means I'll be able to sell custom art through them and a few more services. All the money I make goes to the same stuff. So the Patreon goes in the same bucket as the books from the money from my Amazon. And then a portion of it gets put aside for Xander's needs because my goal is to use that as legacy money. A portion of it gets reinvested. But everything you give, it just, oh God, it means so much. And we are coming into the time where I really want to talk about how grateful I am to you guys, and to hear that you're doing that. Just, you guys have to understand. And I don't, Trelena knows. And honestly, there are reasons why I will always trust Trelena more than anyone else who doesn't have my last name. And more than some who do at times. I was ran out of the SCA, and I don't talk about it much because it's not a happy thing, because they didn't want me to teach. I was told for years what I was doing was wasting people's times. And as part of it, I was accused of being a fraud. I was blacklisted. And being labeled something hurts, but it didn't hurt with what came after. What came after was the fact I couldn't help through the means I had at the time. There were people I could not get to be of service to. And they were, things happen. And I've come, especially the last few years, trying to come back from the assorted nerve diagnoses and some of the doom of Damocles injuries that loom over me, that limit my ability to have people over to fight, because, I still don't always walk well. For me, and for a long time, there was nothing worse than being useless. And even with the adaptions, and yeah, I specialize in helping people work with their adaptions, there's nothing more identity destroying for me as not being able to help. That's just not who and what I am. And this guild, especially through the days where I was talking and running the show and holding, I couldn't hold things. I could barely type to get it up, has been such a comfort. And there aren't words for how grateful I am for all of you. And when we get towards Thanksgiving, I tend to think really hard on how I feel about things that people I'm grateful for. And I try to make sure that they get to understand as best as my humble and stuttering speech can allow what you mean to me and what you've done. So I try to be of service. And it is so deeply appreciated. And I can't thank you enough. In that I mechanically can't. So I just do my best to answer questions and provide entertainment and education, because even if I can't maybe fight like I used to, because time was stolen from me. I did not know how bad my physicality would be and how much I'd lose. And what they did stole the time that I could have used that. And I obviously won't get that back. I'm not bitter in like angry, because people were misled and some were just simply very foolish people, lost in the game aspects and forgot what they were supposed to be doing. So it's not like I hold a lot of anger or malice at them, even though certainly some of them I'd be justified. I do my best to forgive them, although they'd be very offended that I would have the audacity to say that. But thank you guys, because you help a fat little man feel like he matters. So let's get back into the comments for a moment, because it helped me find new eyeshadow shades. Oh, God. So I may have, one of the times that was played, I may have popped her in the face, a miscalculation, whilst doing drills and demonstrating. And I still feel horrible about it. But the irony was, it was a two-color, this almost peridot emerald green with a purple line. And it was just about the most beautiful eyeshadow I've ever seen. And it was something I accidentally applied through violence. But yes, no, you guys have no idea how funny that was. And how I still feel bad about it. But yeah. And sorry about being migraine-y. I have no filter. No, you guys are doing just fine. I ought to get back into arting. Please do. Speaking of that, on the other channel, I'm streaming the art program I use, Clip Studio Paint. Auto records time lapses of my drawings. So when I do things like the thumbnails, because I like to paint and draw the thumbnails for my other show. This show, so many wild things happen. I get these great thumbnails of me holding up a fish and a sword, or something, like, and so I don't have to do a thumbnail for this show. It's sort of naturally a little more organically insane. But for the other show, I do. And I've started sharing those, so you may enjoy those. I'm also going to be doing some more live draw programs and introduction to the techniques I use, if people are interested over there. So I'd love to see some of you who have that overlap coming by. No, I don't need that computer. Let me do this, because we have a comment dump. And Thesis says, restraint is not one of my strong suits, especially when it comes to Foxy. More than once I've been told to tone it down, or we're making people uncomfortable, or how long have we been married? I have this crazy thing. I love seeing people who are in love be happy. I travel in many, many social circles. Many of the people I socialize with are bisexual or gay or somewhere else on the sexual attraction spectrum. And they'll ask me, yo, are the straights okay? Because it seems like all you hear is they hate their wives. It's like, or vice versa, they hate their husbands. And I tell them everybody's fine. That's just some attitudes. I love seeing happy couples. It makes me happy. I've been with Amanda going on 20 years married in 3 days. because I dated her 2 years before we got married. I've been with Amanda longer than I was without her in my life. And in almost my entire adult life, Amanda's been a part of it, and a huge part, either as one of my best friends or as my girlfriend slash fiance. That happened real fast. Or my wife. So I get it. You should be happy, and you should be allowed to be happy. As long as you're vaguely civil, you should be fine. The SCA didn't know what they were losing. No, they just didn't care. Because frankly, the people I helped were the people that they would dispose of anyway. It's kind of tragic. So thanks, people who pushed you out because you're our sword master now. Absolutely. Guild for life. I do not have tattoos. In part because I have some nerve conditions where certain types of pain are hideously unpleasant. And my skin doesn't heal right. So I've been advised not to. But if I did, assuming it didn't interfere with any emergency supernatural needs, I'd probably get my white boot. Because the guild is one of the most important things to me. And it represents one of the best things I've had the honor of building. And I've carefully built it where if something happens to me, if, when, whatever, I have a clear successor plan who is fully capable of taking what I do. And it's really easy. I would trust Trelena to teach my son Xander how to fence if I died before he was mentally and physically and emotionally ready to learn to sword fight properly. Because I've tried to build a network where it's a network. It doesn't all come through me. You guys are all connected to each other. So in the event of cataclysm, you guys are okay. It's a very different philosophy, and I am so proud to see the people who are involved in it. See, if you want something special made for your wife or son, send me or Foxy a message, and we'll see what we can do. Aw. Trelea says, I've gained 2 sort of students because of you. Never doubt your worth. Thanks, Trey. And you guys don't know it, but there was a meeting, and it had after I had decided I was no longer going to be active, but I was going to merchant at the SCA. I got called into a meeting, and they asked me a bunch of stuff and demanded some things that was very inappropriate. And Mandy and I got up and left. We were done. Trelena came with us. I had other dear friends who didn't. I'll never forget that because I would have never asked that of her. And if you have students, sort of or otherwise, and I know at least a couple of the people you refer, they are truly blessed, Mags. I've only got Foxy and Kitty as students at the moment, but I've had as many as 10 in the past from college. And if you build it, they'll come. If you set things up and you put in the time, they will come. See, very few people believe that we've been together over 20 years at this point due to how affectionate we are with each other. They think we are newlyweds. That's wonderful. No, that's what I want to see. That's how it should be. Cindy Kev says, I posted my July recording on fan form that's on my YouTube channel. Yes, I might record progress on Gagi, Wu style Tai Chi form I've been learning in class. Delightful. That is wonderful stuff to see, folks. Subscribe to her YouTube channel, of course. And I want to see more of it. Trelena has put up with me for 20 years, married about 8-ish, I think. Yeah, yeah, because I remember, and it's the funny thing is in college, I think I met Trey either a year or 6 months after I met Amanda. And she'd talk about Joy. And there was a joke that you were cryptid. Honest to God, You were the urban legend Joey. There were people who did not believe you were real. And I informed them, of course he has to be real, because the world would not be that cruel to me. Anyway, nothing wrong with being happy. Yep. 20 years. Dang. Yep. And although every time I say 20 years, it starts to sound like a Bob Seger song. 20 years. Where they've gone. 20 years. Man, I don't know where they've gone. Yeah, it doesn't seem like he's. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it, does it, Johnny? Yeah, it's something. He's my Rena husband. Oh, you were so fortunate, or he's so fortunate that we're all so fortunate we met in the sequence that we did, darling. But that's okay. One of these days, I'll just go crazy and be like, "Look, I've acquired vast sums of money. I'm adopting you, and we're gonna live on a little private place having way too much fun." That's the plan. Or cryptid hubby. Yeah, see? One thing about Trelana, she knows how to associate with cryptids, although I wouldn't know. I am not one. Johnny's barely been alive that long, so it sounds like a lot. That's okay. When you find the right one, it won't feel like a lot. Saying we've lived a lot. Give Johnny time. I believe Johnny will find the right one. I am a hopeless romantic. Well, of course I am. I teach people to sword fight. Because, well, you'd be right. We're only 26. Only 36, LOL. Yeah. Two are babies, but we love you. No, I'm all of 42. And yeah, it's a thing. But folks, you can find it. I absolutely believe that not only can you find real love, you can have real love that lasts. It will be work. It will be one of the hardest things. I plead the fifth. I'll be 40 next fall. Awesome. I have taken my opinion on age is and has been an unexpected victory that no one can account for. No one expected me to live this long. I think I'm probably, Cindy, you're probably the oldest here. And that's not a bad thing. That means you have a whole lot of wisdom and experience, and I respect the heck out of it. It's funny because, I'm one of the elders here. I go over to the other channels, and I might as well be as young as Johnny because, you got people who, like Glenn Fleming, who hung out with Jack Kirby. I mean, is it always, they've been long term. It's also when you truly love someone you're willing to work for. Yeah. And that's what we're about. Paying attention, predicting, and responding appropriately. It's almost like the mental flexibility found in martial arts responds really well. Ooh, that was a gaggle of a glitch. I've never seen that one. To other aspects of life. Mental chess keeps your mind flexible. And it is wonderful to have someone in your life you can spar with. Let's see. I'm making teddy bears. Oh, that is so awesome, Cindy. She's making teddy bears out of old fur coats. I love it. I absolutely love that. Pain in the... Thesis knows he's a pain in the butt, but hopefully it's been worth it just as bad. See, we're having a very appreciative evening. And I think that's important. We should be appreciative of the joys we found and learn from the sorrows. Because I had my heart broken a few times before I met Amanda. I'll be honest, by the time I met Amanda, I had sworn off any serious relationships. My plan after the bad years of early teenagedom was go find a gig, make money, figure things out. We tend to be very, very honest about these things. And yeah, I had been cheated on and heartbroken, and it was ugly for a while. And then I met Mandy, and when I met her, it's ironic because, yeah, that's still the plan. Hey, nothing wrong with you go there, you make your money, you do your stuff. I just got kind of out of sequence. I went and did the family thing, and I worked a lot of very strange jobs because I go where the universe needs me to go to do what the universe needs me to do. And then the universe went, that's enough of that, and set me quite effectively in the middle of a cornfield and said, here, sit here, heal, figure out what's going on, chase your dreams, dang it, quit helping everybody else. Not that last bit, but you know what I mean. And I've started, and it's miraculous, the good that's coming at range. By the time I'd sworn off relationships, nearly sworn off light, I've been there. You do good things, Johnny. Thank you, and I do agree, Johnny. You catch a lot of flack, and you enjoy being an instigator, but you're still one of the best people I know because I paid attention. And you're a heck of an artist, and I dig it. Here I am with the duct tape. Hey, if love doesn't involve some duct tape, what's the point? No, I really do believe that that good can win, and good wins when we come together as people. And that's very serious. That's why I tend to respond with silliness. You got to temper this. But oops, I don't know if you heard that. Mandy's having to scold the cat, I believe. Just not on the wrists. Nightmare to remove. No. You do it backwards, and then you go over the backwards stuff, or you wrap in like harmless masking tape. There are a lot of ways to do it. Just saying, duct tape, rope, chains. Oops, wrong channel. No, you can use all those things in training weapons and styles. I eat flack for breakfast. Oh, you're a good one, Johnny. Heyo. But yeah. So as we switch over to winter, I hopefully, health and situation providing, uh, I'm going. One thing I've had to learn recently in my journey is a death of a layer of pride I didn't know I had. Uh, I have to be willing to ask people for help with things like the maintenance of the list field. I can't go out and cut down the big weeds with any of the tools, the motorized tools and stuff, because the impact's on my hands. I can't do that. There's a lot of things that I thought it was just flax. That too. Johnny has a very balanced, regular diet, lots of fiber, but and that actually affected some of my practices this year, as well as the weather and a few other things. So, what I'm trying to do for myself is learn how to ask for help and not feel horrible, not feel guilty for having the limitations that I've had. And I've helped so many people, and I've advised so many people over the years on working through and doing, and letting you do the good you can, but sometimes you have to let the others that do good for you. And it's very difficult for me to do that because I'm in my own little way, I'm a very proud person. And I don't hang on to titles very much because obviously I've had them taken away from me in different ways. But letting go of that is part of aging gracefully. I've come to the point in my life where I'm not ashamed to walk outside with my cane. I used to be for a long time. I've trained with a cane. I know I've made use of a cane and walking staves and other things, but it took me a long time to find comfort in the days when I need the cane, especially to embrace it and just go, that is just an extension. I don't beat myself up for needing glasses. I don't, you know, I don't beat myself up for having, well, I do actually beat myself up for needing a machine when I sleep and wearing body armor essentially to keep my joints in line so the nerves don't get cranky. But I'm working on that too. And I would rather come before this, live internet audience and say, here are my scars. Here are my warts and problems, whatever. So that you can see that you might not, they might not be the same as yours, but they may be close enough that you can see that this still happens. And I'm doing better, and I am itching to put one of these new super light rapiers that I got in Trelena's hands. Yeah, connective tissues. But I'm so proud of you. Oh, I understand. I understand. Good for party tricks. Anyway, but because everybody here has had to overcome things to be able to do what we do. Sometimes it's not so obvious, but we are survivors, and we thrive through the face of blatant adversity. And when I see and I hear what you guys have done and what you deal with, I see it as nothing short of heroic. Cindy says, I picked up my third piece of nocturnal body armor. We'll see if it helps with some of the ow. The wrist sprints sure have. Yes, I sleep with the full arm. Well, you guys have seen them. I've actually had to replace them with slightly larger, stronger ones because I had a nightmare and I snapped both of them. But they help, and they're part of it. And I sleep. I'm a member of the Scuba Sleeper Squad. I stop breathing at night for long periods of time, and that's why I have a machine that reminds my idiot body, "Hey, you should breathe." But my mask is on a quick release, so there was a bump, and I heard it, and I don't know what it was. I think it was the neighbor cats getting in a fight. But I hop out of bed, hit the quick release on the hose. So the hose falls away. Slam the button, run over, grab the door greeter, which is my lawn sword at this time. Out the front. I've still got my braces on. Run out, look around, and it's cats fighting on my front door, but sound like somebody was pounding on my front door to get in. Come back and look, and I've got, got this big honking mask on. And I'm holding a sword, and I've got bracers on my boxers. And I start laughing, and I realize that the mask without the hose, because I've never tried to speak wearing the face mask that's all sealed. And I realize I sound like I'm imitating Bane. Yes. But do you have any fiber? I will break you and you will die. And I was laughing so hard I woke my wife up. And you have to embrace the absurdity of it. Thesis says, as the weather has gotten colder, I've been dealing with some hip pain, so I haven't been able to do as much training as I'd like, but do what you can. That's all you can do. And be sure to keep up on the exercises the physical therapists gave you. I don't have to do the occupational stuff that I had to do. I used to have to do this all the time. But as soon as it starts to hurt, it's like, oh, it's time to do those exercises. It'll be better next year, and it probably will, and it may you'll still heal, and it may. You know what? I'll be honest. There will be a bit from any major injury that hurts every time the weather changes. I mean, I had 5 of my ribs ripped from my sternum, ripped from 5 of my ribs because of a hard rapier shot. That it was a blunted rapier, but it caught just right between my ribs and sternum, cracking 5 of them and breaking 3. And I was very lucky that they didn't implode into my chest. My elbow was broken, the dumb elbow, by a greatsword trainer. I've had numerous other injuries doing the sports. Yeah, right now with the weather front going around, I feel it, and you're going to feel it. And the thing is, that becomes part of your story. And that's okay. I walk a lot of times, especially on bad days, like Hercule Poirot. Little penguin steps. Very upright penguin steps. And I still have to write David Suchet. I've just been very nervous to do it. But I'm going to. Let's see. I'm prattling, so I'm going to look at the comments. I was advised to avoid accidental, stupid human trips. My joints do sometimes. That's a good idea because they're not really healthy. Yes, I love it. People often ask me how I do things. How do I get through? I don't have a choice. Yeah, and you find out the rules. I had to stop caffeine because it interfered with the med that kept my fingers from feeling like it was on fire. I had to change my whole sleep schedule. I get it. You have to change how you walk, what you carry, what you do. A lot of times I miss being able to engage in physical situations without having to assess everything. Without constantly going, how are the stairs? What's the angle? What am I doing? Am I carrying something? How heavy is it? Blah, 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 blah. That part I have to constantly process to look normal or at least be functional. Did you try to say you were the cat's father? I was thinking that too. No, Johnny, I am your father. Anyway, great minds. Oh, yes, and we have another comment down. I have moved from doing my PT exercises in the evening to doing them in the morning. It helps. Yes, I have to do certain things first thing in the morning. Well, I have to get up, de-arm. Within a half hour of the time I'm scheduled to wake up to get my meds in me, because diabetic, and nerve meds, and then I have to stare at the wall for a while. Because if I don't, I have problems. I'll probably be getting up early today. I accidentally took my nerve meds a little early, so I may have some problems in the morning tomorrow. But you start learning that. And that's okay. Like, if I know I'm going to fight, to look functional, say for a video, the day before, nothing happens. Okay? I do as little physical activity other than the necessary stuff so I don't goof up. I hydrate, I take my stuff, I take anti-inflammatories, which I now get very little of because of other reasons. And then I set everything up, plan out how I'm going to do it, do something like a practice, and then I'm done. Food before, food after, and I've got a snack if I need it. You plan it. The way you can do things when you have limitations is by understanding and either working around them or scheduling to let them do their thing. That's why, I know if I get tired, I have to sit. If I have to sit a certain way, bam, I have to sit. There's no shame on it. Wait. I have a rib that's out of place right now. It wiggles when I push on it. That is not lol. The weather change has not been favorable. No, we actually have a big a hot air bubble has come all the way up from the Gulf of Mexico, and it's set in the central middle of the US. So it's pushing the cold and making loops. Now there's a possibility of tropical storm effects coming straight up that. And when that bubble pops and the cold air uh, hits it, tries to go over and squashes down, there's likely to be some pretty hinky weather, and those of us who feel it. And that's a real part of adapting, guys. This is something they don't talk about. We're not a bunch of old people going, yeah, and it hurts when I do this, yada. No, if I had defense right now, I would fight a different way. And you learn that way. This is why in the book, I'm going to reference something. I haven't pulled the book out in a long time. But I talk about training with the staff. So you go through the first 20 some odd pages, you get through your tax. And this portion of the book is going to be revamped and new things added to. Go past the initial armoring and training phase. I'm looking for, advanced weapons techniques. The stick. I don't know what that happened, but I have a section here on fighting with the stick. Now, note how I've depicted that. I want you guys to see this. This is important stuff. See that? This is not someone using the stick as a defensive. This is somebody using it like a walking stick. And I talk about, using the stick or sheath is not customarily addressed in most manuals. However, understanding the stick is very important for someone like myself, who at times requires the use of a cane to walk. A lot of you are using how you are using a stick depends if and how much you are required to move. As my limitations vary widely due to a myriad of variables: weather, exertion, amount of sleep, hydration. Did that sound familiar? Different conditions allow for different modes of operation. So I will break it down to modes so that people who are always in one mode, some people are always in one mode, where some people like myself switch between. Use what works for you. Fully functional. Train like you don't need it. Use it as a block parry. We get into that. An off day, you're using it, but it's still there if you need to pull it down. A bad day, you train how to move while you're using that to support you. And here's the tricky thing. Even if you're having a really good day, take some time to maintain the muscle memory of how to move, so that when you're having problems, you're not having to figure out, this leg doesn't want to support me, it's going numb. You work it, and you still have a range of defense depending on how hard you're leaning on it. But train like it's a bad day. And on the days when you're sitting there, oh no, my legs aren't working, I'm not up to sparring. Well, I guess I better sit and not do anything. I mean, my legs won't work. So what good are they? What good can I do when my legs aren't working? Because you certainly couldn't just sit in a chair and drill. Oh, my hands aren't working. I couldn't spend, having a day where my legs are working, but my arms aren't working. It's a great time to do footwork and just focus on how you move around. Hold something very light, if at all. Yes, and train from the ground. Train from a fallen position. Fight from your knees if you are capable. If you aren't, train from sitting on your butt, how to block and hold your own. One of the better parts of the SCA is they did train from that stuff, and that fixated in my mind. Now, I skipped a couple comments, so I want to get back to them, and I keep bumping my mouse wrong. It's something I'm fairly used to, Nick. It's one of the lower ribs that doesn't come to the sternum. The collagen and such is loose. I get you. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. It also means my fingernails are paper thin and flexible, and my ears are really, really flexy too. You just have extra elf in you. That's fine. It happens. Virgil has been the storm that is approaching for 5 days now. The wind is taking away people's roof tiles. It sounds like Thor ditched the hammer for a lightning machine gun. Be careful, Johnny. Wow. Yikes. I even trained from sitting and a falling position. Yes. There was a girl in one of my classes, this is thesis, who broke her foot, so she trained for weeks in a chair. She did the arm movements from the Yang Simplified 24. She didn't do the footwork. There is, one of the fundamental styles I learned was a version of Yang Simplified 24 from a chair. There's a video out there, has a black guy, I cannot remember his name. It's like chair Tai Chi, and it sounds cheesy, but it is fundamentally wonderful for those of us who may have leg problems. It keeps your core strong, it keeps your forearms moving, it keeps your body moving, and you still, especially if you slight rolly chair, you can get a little bit of the motion to keep the joints working even if they're not under full weight. And we have to learn to avoid the all or nothing mindset, which is very hard for me. I am a very much black and white minded individual. What is, what isn't. It's just I have a very complex definition of both. And I've gotten that by paying attention. But you have to be flexible. You have to allow mental flexibility to overcome the problems. Because through mental flexibility, we can do a lot of things. Unfortunately, when it came to show the form at the end of her term, her footwork was kind of awful. Sifu still passed her, though. Yes, and I sincerely hope she had the good sense to then spend the same kind of dedication working on her footwork. Because that's a gap, and I'm very pro footwork. But I'm also impressed that your instructor had the good sense to realize she put in the hours and scale it appropriately. She tried and was still healing. He was nice like that. And that's not just nice. That's a game recognizing game, folks. That's why I talk to you guys. That's why I'm comfortable putting out my heart and soul out in this very public way. You're going overtime, Nick. How are you feeling? My voice is getting a little rough, and I am a little tired. So I probably will be cutting out pretty soon. But we've had important conversation. A lot of it unplanned, a lot of it different directions, but important. So we'll go for a couple more minutes, and then I'll stop. But thank you so much for observing, because yes, my throat's tightening. I had a couple rather emotional moments during this episode. In all the years that I attended and assisted, there were only 2 or 3 people who didn't get their certificates. One person got their certificate and said, Sifu pulled them aside and said, if anyone asks, you didn't learn from me. And just making sure you're okay. I am okay. I ate right before, and I am starting to feel it. So like I said, I will be cutting it, but I do appreciate the concern. It's very, very special that you guys are that kind and caring. But yeah. And with that good advice, I do think I'm going to call it because I'm starting to get the sweat sheen. Yes. Joe, I did give Nick a bit of shock earlier today by showing up on his morning show unexpectedly. You did, but honestly, that was one of the, for reasons I don't talk about publicly right now, I really needed a happy surprise. And that was really, really, it made my day. And it's funny. People accuse me, oh, you're flirting, you're this terrible person. If I am smooth, I'm being playful. If I'm stuttering and stammering and having to work for it, unless I'm in the middle of a good role, yeah, that's where you can tell I'm very, very serious on, positive type stuff. But yes, thank you for that, Joe. Seriously. The Tai Chi the Tai Chi teachers go out to a couple retirement homes and teach there. Some of the folks are stuck in chairs. So they had to do the hand parts and point the toe in the foot of motion. Yeah, that's what you have to do. It's just how I am too. I tend to mother people. Ironically, given I'm not one. Interesting thing. My wife's mom, my mother-in-law, uh, had adopted two boys because she was told she could never get pregnant, and they're 20 years older than Maddie. And between that, the time she was able to do that with her husband Charlie, wonderful man. They didn't have kids, but they worked at the church, and they volunteered, and they taught little league and put kids to work, and their yard was always full of kids, hanging out and learning things from Mr. Charlie, Mr. Heiss. And his wife was the same and thought she didn't. She always wanted to have a whole gaggle of kids. Then they adopted. Then 20 years later than they expected, when their sons had moved out, she got pregnant and Mandy was born. It was supposed to be impossible. She's a miracle baby. And at one point, they were upset because they had wanted a gaggle, and then I think Mandy asked her, how many of the nieces and nephews and the neighbor kids and everybody came through here? How many people call you grandma? How many call you mom? You had kids. You just didn't give birth to a lot of them. Sometimes the people who care the most are given the opportunity by the universe to spread it around. I mean, that's how I look at a lot of things. Had I stayed in the SCA, had everything gone right, quote unquote, I might not have written my book. I might not have gone online. I might not have put it out there, and I might not have helped all these people who I'll never know. That's the wonder of doing good. So I get that. I absolutely get that. Oh, there goes that clip again. The wind must be kicking up. Let's see. It's just how I am too. Okay, we're there. I tend to miss the morning show because I sleep in. Caught a couple though. Hey, that's wonderful. And you guys are quite a bit ahead out time wise. I think you're on Mountain Time, so that's pretty early in the morning. But if you ever want to catch the reruns, that's a thing. And we talked about that. Thesis: the rerun of the show should be interesting, especially the opening. Yeah, I had fun because I talked to Joe, and then he showed up, and I kind of roped him, and then without telling him, I decided we needed to do some shtick, and it worked really well. Like them, I am not able. They told me fertility might return in later years. No thanks, not now. I understand. Yay for miracle babies, but I have other kids, so I'm good. I understand that too, and I have a lot of people I care about. And some I've never had the pleasure to meet in person. Some I may never meet in person. And that's okay, because it's about the chance to do good. Uh, I'm going to have to hop. I'm going to have to hop again. See you folks another time. See you soon, Joe. And I might just go check where you probably are. I get to sugar them up and send them home. Yeah, and that's wonderful. Joe and Trelane are the same way. Trelane is like the world's greatest aunt to everybody. Uh, they're good people, and it's fun to do. But per your stuff and me feeling my voice is starting to get a little rough for proper broadcasting. So I think I'm going to call it, guys. If you like what goes on the Scoofy channel, and I know we've been all over the rails today, please like this, please share it, please subscribe to it, and ring the bell so you don't miss anything. If you want to support, consider becoming a Patreon member. You'll get special access to things, and you'll help me keep the lights on. There's also the Historical Fencing Guild group on Facebook that you can go. It's a public group and join with people. Thesis set up a wonderful Discord. I just rarely am on it. Discord has a bit of a learning curve, and I'm learning multiple social media systems right now, trying to make sure my bases are fairly well covered. So go there. It's a great group. I think it's just called The Guild. Talk to Thesis. He could set you up with that information. Other than that, folks, you know what? Do your drills. Keep your eyes open. Be kind to yourself and each other. And as always, folks, thank you for supporting your local swordmaster. I'll see you next week.